Welcome to day 9 of my 10-day challenge where I draw houseplants. Today I'm drawing this broccoli. So I've talked before about how I like to draw a portrait of a plant, and so I usually like to draw every leaf and not simplify in that particular sense. And for this one, I had a moment where I was thinking, does that mean I need to draw each of those little structures at the end of the florets? And then I decided that the right level of difficulty for this drawing, to keep it interesting, would be to draw every branch that I can see coming off of this broccoli, and to draw all the actual leaves, the things I'm drawing right now that sort of come off of those stems or whatever they are. So that got me thinking about how when you're making a project for yourself, it helps to think about how difficult and how challenging you want to make it. And also, especially with line drawings, you have to think about how realistic you want to make something. Because there is a limit to how realistic you can make something. Because when you look at stuff, it doesn't look much like a line drawing. There are people who make these amazing drawings in Photoshop and stuff, where they render in color and they can achieve a level of realism that is quite remarkable. And you can't do that here because you're translating the different levels of darkness and saturation into some sort of line pattern. And once you've given yourself permission to do that, because you can't be completely realistic, I feel like a lot of the pressure goes away because you can make decisions about, how accurate you want to be with regard to the shape and with regard to, the branches and leaves being present and the angles and all of that stuff. So that's one of the things I like about making line drawings. You can't really compare your final drawing to the image you see in real life. So the goal instead becomes to sort of create an impression of the vegetable and kind of capture the feel that the shape of it gives me. Another thing that happens when I get into a drawing like this is that I start figuring out what line pattern I want to use. For example, here for the ends of the florets, I started making circles and then I started making lines, and I just tried a couple of different hatch patterns out. And somewhere in the middle, I decided on the one I liked, and I just went with that. I find this happens a bit with monochrome paintings as well, which I do in ink. Because, again, there's a limit to how realistic you can get. Because at minimum, your picture is going to look like it has a filter on it, because the colors are changed. And so when I started doing that, I felt freer in experimenting with, I guess, brush patterns to depict foliage. At some point, I found some sort of squiggle shape that I liked, and I started using it to represent leaves. And I would kind of change the pattern a little bit depending on the kind of leaf. So I think it's useful to think about, why you're doing a project and how realistic you want to be and how you're going to depict things. So here's the drawing I just made. And here's what I just drew. So that was day 9. One more plant to go. It's going to be the ivy on the tree outside. I've been putting that one off. So see you next time.